Following the various attacks in Plateau State, we are having where the former Speaker Dogara have said time to deal with the terrorists is now, or else terrorism will continue in the state and even beyond. Good afternoon and welcome to Nigeria Now, where we will be looking at some of the issues that are affecting us, and then we will see how we can provide solution, if possible, some of these issues that are happening in the state and in the country as well. I am Stella Elisha Dasham, and I'll be doing the program with Rachel Tanzi. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Afternoon, Stella.
All right, and also to our viewers who are watching us live, do remember you can join us live on Facebook and on YouTube, and then you can also drop some of your recommendations and also some of your comments and your views regarding any of this issue we will be bringing to the table this afternoon. And we'd love to start with the first statement coming from the former Speaker Dogara, where he said that the time to deal with terrorism is now. And Rachel, you will recall that we had a number of pockets of attack in Plateau State, particularly starting from before Christmas and even down to Christmas and even after Christmas. And then we keep seeing recording the number of dead increasing daily. We have a number of casualties in the hospitals that are presently receiving treatment, and we saw that the Vice President Shetima was there. A number of people have also visited to actually show their sympathy and condolences with the family and also to the good people of Plateau State. But then beyond this visit, beyond promises, beyond that, I think last week or so you and I saw the fact that even the people in the IDP camps are complaining of hunger as well. Now, beyond all of this visitation coming from the various people that are coming, what are some of those steps that the government can actually put in place? Because if we are seeing the former speaker saying that the time to actually deal with these terrorists is right now, because we're seeing that it seems as if they're having a swell day. They keep coming, and then I listening to the governor of the state as well. He said that this is an attack that was being coordinated, because when you look at it properly, it's no longer about religion anymore. I mean, back was then when you see an attack in any part of the country, especially in Plateau State, it looks more like this is a religious crisis. But this is not a religious crisis, because we're seeing both the Muslims, the Christian, traditional worshippers, everybody got affected eventually. So it looks more like, is it a political crisis? Is it a coordinated crisis? I mean, the president, the governor per se came out to say that, you know what, this is a coordinated attack, because if you see the way this attack actually took place, you will agree that, you know what, these people are actually being targeted, and then a number of these communities are actually taken over by the terrorists. So what are those steps right now that the government can put? Because believe you me, Richard, if you ask my opinion, this is beyond just Plateau State. Yes, we're seeing it in Taraba, we're seeing it in Zamfara, we're seeing it in Borno, we're seeing it in other, parts of the country. So what are those things that presently the government can do? Because believe you me, I think the method they are using is actually analog. It's no longer working. What other steps can they actually put in place for us to see that, you know what, we need to record success when it comes to tackling the issue of terrorism in the country?
I mean, Sarah, I believe the only way that the government, in my opinion, can see some results is a no mercy approach. I believe the same way these terrorists showed no mercy to the communities they attacked, to the people on the plateau, Zamfara, Borno, Kaduna, every region that have been under attack with no mercy, is the same way I believe the military should treat these terrorists with no mercy. I don't think the approach should be to arrest them and rehabilitate them. I don't think the approach is negotiation. You have nothing whatsoever to negotiate with these people. They have nothing of theirs in your possession that you need to give them back. And as much as we can keep thinking, is this political, is this religious, is this I believe is more territorial in nature. All of these things are under it, but we wouldn't take the fact that there is a conquest going on and these people want a territory, and that is why they send these people out. Of course, you can't come and tell somebody to leave his land without bloodshed. It won't happen. Even if you try to use whatsoever method we are familiar with in Africa, it's not going to work. It might work on one person, but it can't work on an entire community. And a lot of time when they displace these people is because they want to have their place. Regardless of where these people are coming from, what their religion is, and all of that, I see trying to take over a certain place as the priority there. And when you are able to take people's territory, then your other agenda will follow suit, be it political, be it religion, but you have to be in control of that space. You have to be in control and know that, okay, we are the authority here. So for me, this is the pattern that I see is most prevailing among all, because regardless, is these people are taking over. They're taking over these people's farm. They're taking over these there are areas right now that the people who usually reside there no longer in our villages. It's now to these herdsmen and all of that, and we will keep seeing this. Now the army is to come and show no mercy. They are to take back these territories for these people, for them to be able to go back and occupy it, because there's no government that plans for internally displaced people so far. And that's why we will see the issue of hunger being recorded in these IDPs, and then there's little or nothing the government can do about it, because we are struggling with every other thing, and then now we are seeing attacks left, right, center. The military, the government should strategize, because it will break my heart to see that. I mean, how are these people being more organized in their attacks? And then we have an army that is trained. We have armies with intelligence and, you know, all the resources that is needed, and can't do anything to secure lives or to even give people back their lives. I believe that it's just a wake-up call. It is not now, it's continuous. Now, yesterday, today, whenever is the time to fight terrorists. We shouldn't just have a ginger, a motivation, because so much life has been lost, and because the people of Plateau are refusing to be silent about it, and then we just have this momentum and say, okay, let's fight terrorism. And then once the voice dies concerning what happened in Plateau, everybody goes back to sleeping. And then tomorrow we wake up and then it's 300 people in Kaduna State. I just hope that the approach should be no mercy. Just as they are dealing with these communities, they should also be dealt with in that same way. And I believe that that is the only way we can be able to see some amount of success in giving people back their lives.
Richard, you actually touched almost everything, and I believe that this should be more like an advice, to the present government, because all of this terrorism that is actually going on, all of this attack, bandits, unknown gunmen, which I believe they are not unknown, they are known, they are not spirit, they are human beings with blood. I just believe that this should be a way for the government to see that, you know what, let us change the approach on way things are being done, because we keep seeing that for every time any of these communities are being attacked, whether in Plateau State or in another state, there's always a letter that has been sent that we are coming to your community. And I wonder what is the part of the security agents where a letter like this has been issued. That is to say that these people mean business. And we've seen that not once, not twice. Anytime a letter of such has been dropped, they follow it up by actually attacking. So what more can we say? I mean, Falana was in an interview where he said that, you know what, it's not illegal to actually have firearms. As far as they are being licensed and then you've registered and everything, you can have it, because that time has gotten where Nigerians need to protect themselves. I mean, it's not supposed to be heard of. We've had callers calling and say, well, we have the police, we have the army, we have civil defense and all of that. Why should I defend myself? But it has gotten to that point that you need to defend yourself. But then we are hoping that, I mean, we're having recruitment of the police. Last week we saw that of the army. So we'll be having more arms, I'm hoping. But then let us say that we have more intelligence when it comes to tackling this, because this is not a fight that we should just take it for granted, or just take it like one of those child's play. No, we should fight terrorism with every drop of our blood, because you know what? Those farmlands are being destroyed, the lives of people that are dead. I mean, this really calls for a lot of work coming from our government. So we hope to see them doing that as well. Now, we're seeing that already, while we're still looking at the issue of terrorism, the budget for Nigeria that has increased to 28.7 trillion naira. We're seeing that already the G5 governors, making up that of the former governor of Benue, former governor of Rivers,
yeah.
Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, among others, are coming out to say, you know what, we are going to support President Tinubu come 2027 again. That is to say that they actually gave him their support last year. So they are planning to give him another support again come 2027, because they said, you know what, the president, when you're talking about somebody who has that skill when it comes to being a good administrator, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a good administrator. Of course, a lot of people come out to ask the question, so what is PDP saying regarding this? Because we're having these G5 governors have not come out categorically to say we are not with PDP. Neither have they come out to say we are with APC. So they tend to be more like they are on the fence, but then from the body language, you could actually tell who these G5 governors are actually working with. So now questions will be, Rachel, we're still trying to hold. In fact, in February, tomorrow, the governor of Plateau State is going to know his fate, whether he's still the governor of Plateau State or not. We're having other Supreme Court cases for other governors. By February, there will be rerun of other elections and all of that. And already we're seeing that, the talk for 2027 is already on. We're seeing margin coming from other parties saying that, you know what, we need to fight the APC because it seems as if they want to take Nigeria by hook or crook. But then beyond that, what are some of those steps we need to see when you talk about elder statesmen, people who have been in power before? What are some of the body language they are supposed to be showing? What are some of the things they are supposed to say? Because we're seeing that, you know what, there's crisis, obviously, from all of these parties, and no wonder we're hearing some fraction coming out to say this is what we stand for. Other fractions are saying, you know what, we are going to give the support to the president because we have seen that he's a good administrator and he deserves our mandate again.
Sele, at this point in time, I believe elder statesman is just a title that holds no power whatsoever, because I am yet to see the government acting upon anything an elder statesman says. It's just Clark saying this, or Olusegun Obasanjo saying this, we move, and nothing changes. I want to believe that there is no good, patriotic, sensible Nigerian out there that is not tired with the politicians of this country. And I see them as politicians than leaders. Because why are you talking about 2027 without even having a scorecard yet for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That's not leadership, that's politics. And that's to tell you the mindset. And it feels like we are stuck with politicians that are senseless, and I'm saying this with without remorse, and any offense can be taken. Why? We are yet to see any of the economic policies being put by President Tinubu making the economy better yet. We are yet to see that. We are yet to see salary reviews. We are yet to see pilates out there. We are yet to see anything significant to the growth of Nigeria. And you are sitting down, calling yourself a leader with a growth mindset, talking about 2027 without anything to back on your reason for giving your support. We don't care if you want to give him your support, but can you wait till we get to the point that he shows Nigerians that he is deserving of a second term? And the same statement coming up from Governor Otom, former governor, saying that we had an administration that took the economy from top to bottom. Why can't we give Tinubu a second chance? And yet you think you're an intelligent person. And I keep saying, these are the kind of messages we pass outside, and the world is looking at us. And no wonder, regardless of how hard we try, the faces that represent us are not representing us well. The faces that are in the position to make Nigeria look amazing and great, and to let people know that we're intelligent, are disappointing us every single day, because it is too early for that. What is Tinubu's scorecard? We don't have it yet. We are giving him the benefit of that for 2024 to see if eventually we will have refineries running, to see if the foreign exchange, the INE window, is going to eventually drop the naira from the free fall we've been encountering ever since. We are waiting to see, are people going to get palliatives? Are we going to have a minimum wage that can keep our heads above water eventually? We're waiting for all of these things, and yet all you're worried about is politics. And I don't see anything about growth in the country. So it is disappointing on a lot of levels, and I don't think there's any sensible Nigeria out there that is not tired with our politicians. And it almost feels like we are stuck with them because they are still in the position of power. We still have Wike as a FCT minister. We still have Makinde doing his second term, and just imagine the people we still have ruling and leading us, and they're already talking about 2027 without a scorecard and saying Tinubu will come back again. This only shows us what the hands of people that we're in, and we just hope that there is a message that was passed for the 2023 general polls, and I am just hoping and trusting God, Sele, and working hard towards that we wake up to a Nigeria that if Bola Tinubu's scorecard doesn't say, good, you deserve a second term, that we'll be able to say goodbye and welcome a new administration. I'm looking forward to that playing out. But if before 2027 he has a good scorecard, and we saw that as difficult as the start of his policies might have been, they turned out for the better in the economy, then yes, why not? We gave him the next 4 years and all of that, but it's too early for that. Can you rather tell the president the things he needs to be doing rather than just telling him he deserves a second term without anything to show for it yet? I mean, we need to, our politicians need to grow up, because they are not, with the things they do, it shows that they also have a lot of growing up to do.
No, Richard, you actually made a very valid point, the fact that we need to have the conversation surrounding our education, conversations concerning the lives and properties of Nigeria and their security. We need to have the conversation about what can we do about people who are actually living in hunger presently. How about we talk about the issue of our backlog, talking about aviation? How about we also talk about the fact that, you know what, our climate change is affecting us? I mean, how about we have conversation concerning so many things that, you know what, we need to look into how can we fix our refinery. Already Port Harcourt is back.
The deadlines keep going
deadline
further.
keeps moving. It was supposed to be December, and we're in January, and before you say Jack Robinson, Richard, it will be mid 2024 already, and then still a lot of things have not yet been achieved. Of course, I'm not going to say personally, I would say it's too early. I mean, from the very beginning, in fact, from 2023, after the election, already we saw the Labour Party, the PDP, talking about the fact that, you know what, I will try again. I mean, we saw where Daniel Bwala talking about the fact that, you know what, if PDP wants to come out, they need to also have, they need to merge with other smaller political parties, so they will have a very strong hold. But then we're saying that beyond all of this things, can we look beyond just the party and just like you said, beyond politics, and they're looking to having governance in the state, looking at having governance in various parts of the government. We're already having the issue of corruption, which we will look at shortly, where we are supposed to be talking about transparency, accountability, integrity, and then we are seeing that a number of people are not even obtaining that already. So just like you made mention, of course, they are entitled to their opinion to start talking about the politics come 2027. But then how about we look at the issues presently? How about we talk about the issue of there are a lot of farmers that are yet to get access to the improved seeds and also fertilizer, because we need to go back to agriculture from the look of things. How about we talk about our debt profile of over 95 trillion naira? How do we intend to pay that up? So there are a number of things that I believe, just like you made mention, that, you know what, we should bring to the table to the president and say, you know what, when we put this and this and this together, I think we'll be able to achieve this. How about we shift these and put these? We'll be able to see that we record a number of success, but then we're seeing that, just like you said, we're being stuck with certain ideas and policies coming from certain leaders that you expect more from. But it's quite unfortunate that what you're expecting to hear is not what you are hearing. So I think that until our leaders realize that, you know what, we have not gotten it, we are not even there yet. We are about to start talking about the issue of, the president made mention of the fact that house cleaning, and I'm hoping to see that house cleaning thoroughly. So I'm hoping that, just like you made mention, beyond the politics. Let's look at what we can do to make sure that
Yeah.
we improve the lives of Nigerians eventually. That when you go out there, you'll not be looked at as a thief. Why? Because over the years, we've seen that our leaders have portrayed us to
Yes.
be like, if we are not known for fraud, we are known for one thing or the other. I mean, you go to certain hospitals, especially India, then they do not want to let you know certain things that happen in the medical sector because they believe that, you know what, Nigerians can be fraudulent when it comes to
Yeah.
issues like this. So let us see how we can improve our integrity before other people and also our image, because wherever you go, Rachel, you're an image bearer of Nigeria.
Yes.
So anything you do, they point the finger back. So let's look into also doing that beyond the 2027. Now, let us look at, finally, I made mention of the fact that corruption already.
Yes.
And I'd like us to close with this conversation. I mean, during the weekend, we've seen that the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs have come under so much allegation, persecution. Just made mention of it. I mean, we saw even the PDP saying the fact that, you know what, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs needs to resign. Falana made mention of the fact that, you know what, this is an abuse to Nigerians if she doesn't step down. This is just a little above 6 months into office, and then we're already having that issue in that office.
Yeah.
And that is to say that she's not even the first. We're still looking at the issue of
Yeah.
the former
Yes,
minister
yeah.
that is supposed to actually be there for, you know, hearing coming from the EFCC interrogation, and she didn't make up for it, and then she sent a letter saying the fact that she's under the weather, however she can't make it. And then we are seeing that a number of ministers have also come under attack.
Yeah.
Now, mentioning this, which is the one, I mean, talking about 585 million, it's quite a huge amount of money to be found in a private account.
Yeah.
And here we're seeing that she's coming out to say the fact that, you know what, this amount actually went through the office of the Accountant General Federation. The Accountant General Federation is coming out to say, I know nothing about this. So presently, there is an investigation, a probe into what really and how did that money manage to get there. That is not just it. We're having other fraud and money talking about certain things that were being acquired without a permission. Now, in a time where we're supposed to be looking at how we can get it right, in a time where women have been advocating for more space, in a time where the youth say the youth must lead, we want to be there, we want to be showcased. I mean, Betty is just 37 years old. So, I mean, you could tell that she's just part of the peers of youth all around. But then more is expected of that office. And she came out to say that, you know what, she's going to defend herself because she doesn't know whatever they are accusing her of, the money was actually supposed to use to treat the vulnerable people in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and other 2 states as well. Now, Rachel, I just want to hear your own take about this issue of this money being in a private account.
Like, how are you going to defend yourself that you sent a personal account to the Accountant General's office for money that is a public fund? And how would you, on the other side, as the Accountant General of the Federation, see a private account and send the money into it? You know, this is what I like about fraud, money embezzlement in the country, is that all of a sudden, everybody becomes unintelligent. Yes, all of a sudden, everybody don't know how to do their job anymore. All of a sudden, you see flimsy mistake being made as concrete excuses or mistake, and then all of a sudden, fingers are being pointed left, right, center, and nobody wants to take the blame for it. We keep saying that corruption is a very organized crime. Money embezzlement, the person requesting for the amount, the person signing the amount are both criminals. So the person sending the private account for a government job to be done, the person permitting the payment of that fund, saying that it's going to the account that is not supposed to be, are both involved in this thing. And if Better Edu don't know her job, I mean, the Accountant General, you should know your job. Exactly. If, for example, the Accountant General don't know his job, better, you should know your job either. You should know that if this fund is to be disbursed to people for for whatever program it is that you designed and needed that money, then there is a channel that, of course, it shouldn't go to any, even if that person, she should be in charge of. I mean, why sound like people don't know job descriptions and job role? Even a layman will know that even if that is her position, she's not supposed to have that money in her private account, except if she is going to spend that money by herself on a trip or on a flight, but who is the accountant of that organization is also the one in charge of disbursing these funds to the various accountants. I mean, to the various accounts. The same way we have the Attorney General disbursing funds to ministry. That is how your ministry is supposed to have an accountant that is the one in charge and the responsibility of forwarding these funds to the individual account. So everybody just becomes, we don't know our job. But then, I mean, it's organized crime, corruption, regardless. And I just hope the probe is. And I just hope that all the people pointing hands at Betta are not coming because she's a woman. Because the office of the Accountant General of the Federation is also equally at fault. For you to agree to send that money to a private listing, for you better to send it and a private account and to the attorney, everybody is at fault here. So I just hope that they're not just coming from the point of, oh, she's a woman, she needs to go, because he is also at fault. And that is if it's coming from his office, but he said he is not aware of it. So there is an investigation of who is aware of it and who approved.
Who actually disbursed that
exactly, who approved it. Exactly, Seller. So we'll just wait and see how things unfold, and just make sure that certain things don't keep repeating themselves, because we keep allowing things like this to slide. This shouldn't be one of those things that should slide.
You know, honestly, Richard, the issue of misappropriation of funds is becoming like a normal business in Nigeria. We see it in agency, department, management, and you wonder what really is happening. Don't we have auditors that should check up these things? Don't we have people that should vent it to be sure that this money is actually for a concrete reason? Why do we keep having money flying around, and then when you made mention of the fact that, I mean, the Accountant General is aware, and then everybody tends to put out and say, I'm not aware of all of this. So everybody's trying to save her face here. But just like the president promised, he is going to investigate it. So right now our fingers are crossed. We'll be following this story closely because it's very dear to my heart. Just like you made mention, I mean, hope it's not because she's a woman or because she's a youth, but we hope that regardless of your gender, if you actually found wanting, you should face the full wrath of the law and make sure that the right things are being done eventually. Well, thank you, Rachel, for doing the program with me, and also thank you to our viewers for keeping the date with us on Nigerian Now. Until we come tomorrow, do have a blessed day ahead.